Is this the new thing now when they in the shows they have the guy he's sick and then he just falls on the girl acting like he's going to hug her? Like, this is the third show I've seen it happen on this year. The first one I saw it happen was Marry My Husband, and then I don't remember what the second show was. But yeah, like he just falls on her like he's giving her a hug, and then KB thought like he was hugging her until like she calls. He's like, I need your help, I need your help, and now they have to take him, JH, to the hospital because he's tired.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another review on the Review Garden.
So with the first two episodes, episodes 9 and 10, um, 9, they were pretty much trying to figure out their their relationship, um, trying to hide it from people because technically the show is still going on and they can't be together, and you see it in these reality TV shows. Like, by the time the show finish filming and by the time it airs, the end couples have to pretty much hide it, right? So that people don't get the wrong ideas. So when um so so they pretty much kept it quiet, but like, I think in episode 9, the the it was the last episode, so people started hating the girl because JH got rejected. And yeah, so usually you're not supposed to reveal who you ended up with. So technically, it's supposed to be during the time that the show is airing. You're supposed to be in hiding. And that's exactly what they were trying to do. And when, the last episode came out, they started bashing her because JH is so famous. And they were like, how dare she reject him? Da, 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 da. Right? So like, now everybody's trying to get more jobs. KB's getting more commercials, and you know and it and JH is still progressing like he normally does, right? And like, there are people feeling sorry for him and whatnot. And then, the girl who pretty much who the whole show was centered around, she, you know, one of the ladies who puts the shows together, who puts her own show together, um, they were like, they were like, oh, the KB doesn't want to have anything to do with you. Is there something going on? Because you're going on every show and telling everyone that you're close with him, but he's telling people like he doesn't want to work with you. So what is going on with that? So like, she wanted him, right, to win because, or be her partner, because she was using this opportunity to boost herself up, right? But KB doesn't want anything to do with her because of how much of a bitch she is, right? And KB saw that, and the other girl saw that. So she gets mad, and someone sent her a picture of KB and the other girl. So now she went and aired it. So at the end of episode 9, it it was pretty much like scandal because um the other girl went on like YouTube or whatever, or their version of YouTube, and was like, oh, um it was a scam. These two were already in a relationship right before the show started, and she she was the reason that the other girl left because she wanted to come on the show, and blah blah blah, pretty much lying about everything. So what ended up happening is, like, in episode 10, they had to um, look for clues to put those rumors to rest. And the thing is, the girl, she told all these lies, and then after that, she went to France. She ran away, and I'm like, you're so dumb. You causing all of this, but they could fact check your story, right? And like now, you can't come back here anymore because everybody's gonna know you were lying. So, and why didn't she just go to France to begin with? Like, why did she have to cause this much trouble? So, anyway, the girl went back through all the tapes to try and see, evidence that the girl who everyone had a crush on, that she was lying, right? So they found the tape of her threatening the other girl to leave the show. And if you remember, the other girl had to leave. She threatened her to leave because the other girl had a boyfriend, and she was on the show to, quote, find love, right? So um so they found the evidence, and when KB had to go do the whole speaking event, he couldn't lie. He couldn't lie. So he was like, "No, she wasn't telling the truth." And yes, me and the other girl, what's her name? Are in a relationship, and that's why this and and that's why she's mad. So, like, you know now everything just shifted. People liked them, people hated them, and then that was it. But also, before he came out with that, um before he did that interview, there was a girl who went to there was a girl who went to where the girlfriend lives, and then she threw a brick through the window and then almost attacked her. Luckily, KB and JH were there, and they were able to go to the to the police station and so on. But she didn't file any charges, and JH was just so distraught because this is the first time something like that. Well, it's not the first time, but someone loved him so much that they were willing to kill someone else for him, and he was very uncomfortable with that. So he didn't know what to do, right? Um yeah, so he was just so now he's just navigating this whole, like, do I really need to be famous type of thing, right? What exactly am I doing? And he's walking. If he decides that he doesn't want to give someone an autograph, or he doesn't want to take a picture with someone, they're like, they feel entitled to taking a picture with him, and they're like, oh, I didn't even ask for that much, like, why can't he just do it? Because he doesn't want to. He doesn't have to take a picture with you. Like, I don't know. So he's not used to that, right? Well, he is used to it, but he's not used to being able to say no and not caring about what people say after that. And then in this episode, you also find out that um, the girl's mom is not really her mom. She quote adopted her. She quote adopted her. So she just found her on the street one time when she was about to, like, unalive herself, and she found the girl in the street, and she just took her in, and she was like, oh, I'm gonna feed her one more time, one more day, one more time, one more day, until it just became like she was her daughter. And then we also find out that the lady who kept coming in to get her hair done is her actual birth mother, and she actually knew what she looked like. I mean, when she's that young to be able to remember who her birth mother is, I mean, that's very interesting, right? And um the other part that just doesn't, like, it still hasn't registered, how is the little boy her grandson, right? Because they never tell you that those two are sisters, but in a way they can't be sisters, right? Because she's not the other one's actual kid. So I guess she just calls her grandma to, I guess she just called her grandma because they she babysits him a lot. So that's what I'm gonna deduce from this whole situation. And then towards the end, you know, he finally got money. He bought, they've been saying that they've never been on a family vacation, KB's family, right? Like, this is what I mean. Like, this is a 12 episode show. Why don't you end it on a happy note? Like, why include unnecessary BS into the show? Like, they're saying, oh, we've never been on a trip together. Okay, he finally had the money. He booked the trip. She got her hair done. Everybody's excited about this trip. And then you tell me that at the end of episode 10, you have them get into an accident and now the mother is in critical condition? Like, come on. That is so unnecessary. It's like, it's so unnecessary to the story, because it's like it's coming out of, like what? Like, what? Did we just take a turn from this story? This is a story about him not being able to lie, right? And now he possesses the power to lie, to, about him telling lies, right? Him telling lies, and now he possesses the power that he can't tell a lie. What does that have to do with now his mom being in critical condition and for them to be preparing for the freaking worst? Like, what? Why didn't we just continue for episode 11, continue for them to actually go to this resort and enjoy their time? Something that cost 1,000,000 won a night. Now he's going to lose the money because you wrote in this story that, oh, the mom gets into a car accident. The mom gets the worst of it in the car accident. Like, I don't get it. And now you're telling them to prepare for the worst. If the mom dies in this show, it's like, that is, I don't know. It's like, it's like that thing that you're not expecting to happen. Like, all of a sudden, it's just like, it's just out of nowhere. It's un. There's a word for like, I I don't know. They, huh? How does that make sense? Luckily, the mom made it. She woke up by in the beginning of episode 12. So I was gonna be like, what is the point of this? But like, with her being in the hospital, but I feel like even if she wasn't in the hospital, this moment would still happen because the father got, swindled. So whoever he gave his money to or products to, like, he was gonna run away with them, right? But that was during the time when the mom is in the hospital. So the father goes to try and get it, and the boys, followed him, or they all went together or something, and they were able to see the guy who got it, right? So the father was like, oh, he's called Beethoven because every time he punches someone, they can't hear anymore. So, like, in episode 11, we got to see that the father knows how to fight, right? So I'm like, this whole time, you could have used this fighting thing, like, the fact that you knew how to fight, a way to make money, right? And you find out too, like the reason KB and JH got in a fight in high school was because KB finally told JH what was going on, and JH, you know, told someone else, and that someone else gave all of them gave KB money, so he felt bad, so he got in a fight. And then when he got home, he saw that they didn't have any money, there was no food. So he pretty much yelled at his parents. Then he ran out. His father went after him, and he yelled at his father again. And then as he was crossing the street, the father got hit by a car. So, like, this whole time, like, all of this happening and them actually being in the same house and not communicating with each other, all that builds up. So in episode 11, they really got a moment where all four guys, hashed out what they were going through. So after they finished seeing the father beat beat the guy up with his other guys, and the boys jumped in too, the cops came to arrest the other guy. And it was after that all four guys had that moment, and they apologized to each other. And then that was when they got the phone call that the mom woke up, which was good. Um, and then with JH, he pretty much he has his whole panic attacks. So he decided he wanted to take well, before he decided he wanted to take a rest, he ran away. WJ had to go find him, and where she pretty much remembered where um, he went a long time ago. So that helped her. So she went after him and told him, like, why are you running away? Just take a sabbatical, you know, and then after that, come back when you're ready. So that's what he told his manager. And then, they showed you that moment before he left, that him and JH, that KB and JH, they went to his house and had a nice moment. And there was a room that um, JH did not want anyone to see. Like, he locked the room, and KB asked them, like, can we go in there? And when they went in, it was an empty room. So he was like, wow, this is different, because, nowhere in your house you have an empty room. But it also symbolizes, like, that's his space, that's his space to unwind. Everywhere else in his house is crowded except for that room. He doesn't let anyone in there. And it was actually interesting too that he let KB go in there, right? Um so, like, he let him into his sanctuary. So it was good seeing those two guys, who were best friends in high school, kind of come back together and become friends again. And they're going to be seeing each other a lot, right? Because they work with the same manager. Yes. So JH's manager is now KB's manager. And when they fast forwarded 6 months from then, so 6 months later, they showed you that he came back, JH came back from his sabbatical, um, and he is now the host for WJ's show. So they're going to be seeing each other a lot, right? And so her show, it's something new that she came up with. They the other the other two girls, one that's like her quote sister, the other two girls quit um the Couples Paradise show and came to join her in her new show, and now JH is the new host. So I think at the end, everything worked out. Um, and then he proposed to her when in the end when they went to go to the little boy's show. The little boy's show was kind of in a way talking to them pretty much everything that they went through. So ultimately this show is just like, I think, me personally, I feel like the concept, it could have gone any way. Like they could have used any show, really any story to kind of put that across. Because if you think about it, it's about someone who in both their situations, WJ and KB, right? He used to lie a lot. Well, not really lie. He never defended anything. He just went along with what other people said, right? Which is very similar to what she did. She never expressed her true feelings, which is why like she fired those two kids, those two assistants, because the other some other girl came to her and was like, "Oh, your show's just starting out. I see that he's having a part-time job. Can he come work for me right now, and then I'll send him back to you?" And she didn't even say like, "No, I'm using him, da 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 da," right? But she probably said, "Okay," and then she went up there and she fired him, not even like taking her own feelings into account. And the same thing happened with her show, right? It was her show, she wrote it, but then when the chief told her like she couldn't be on it anymore, they can't continue the show with her on it, she was like, "Okay, I'm going to take a step back and let them have the show." So she never really stood up for herself in a way, and she never um tell them like, "Hey, I don't like this. I'm not happy with this," right? And it was the same thing for him, whereas he never defended anything. He never told people how he felt, like he didn't like this. Every time in the beginning when you had all these other people he worked with um come over here and tell him, "Oh, go do this, go do that," da, da, da. And he would do it even though it pained him to do that. So it's just letting you know that it's okay to tell people how you feel. You shouldn't let everything bottled in, shouldn't let everything bottled in, because it's only going to hurt you in the end. Obviously, you shouldn't be mean, but you should um yeah, let people know how you feel. And I think the fact that, all four guys were able to talk it out, they were able to move on, move forward, right? Now you have the father who is teaching boxing the at Unbeck's at UB's gym, right? And I'm like, that's what you guys should have done in the beginning. I don't know what happened to the boy, but 6 months later, I'm assuming he's still like nothing has changed. He's still probably delivering, but it was probably the wake up call that they needed. You can't really let one person do all the work to take care of all of these people. Everybody has to chip in order to, make progress, in order to move forward, because they were all talking about, oh, you're a burden, I'm a burden, 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 but let's fix it. So I'm happy that they were able to fix it. And the mom, was able to like relax now. She's able to do what she wants to do, you know? And I was happy that she took him up on that offer. And now she's singing instead of, having to sell her products, even though her husband was there selling it. But at least she was able to enjoy herself too, right? So stay tuned for my review, my rating for the entire show.
And this wraps up our journey on the Review Garden. Thank you for joining me today as we explored this drama. If you enjoyed this reaction and review, please remember to subscribe for more insightful videos. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback helps our channel grow. As always, I'm truly grateful for your support and for joining me on this journey on the Review Garden. Until next time, and happy listening. Bye.